compromise your energy. Darling, let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. Alchemize your energy, my friend. Let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, we will always take flight. Keep on pushing through the darkness of night. There's no limit, let's reach for the sky. Shine so bright, from darkness to light.
All right. So, you know, I was on Madgies panel about 3 days ago, and I'm doing this just really for myself because I just want to get some things off my chest about how there's a whole like beginning of the panel that went a certain way, and I'm not going to get into that. And that was cool. I didn't find nothing wrong with that. But then something kind of happened and took a turn, and I really wanted to like really go over how this thing took a turn. And it turned into almost like an inquisition, like where you have people like just questioning me on why I was taking the stance I was taking when I just said, you know what, maybe we shouldn't do this, right? So let's go into how the panel. I'm gonna start a little bit back and how it kind of got into the whole talking about people's dead or deceased loved ones. And I at some point I said, you know what, I don't want to do that either. You know what I'm saying? So let's go. And yeah,
It doesn't apply to her. It doesn't. It applies to her followers, but she's God.
But if Grace already put the destroyer demon of if Grace already put the destroyer demon of Shiva inside of her, then that can explain her actions.
I don't understand what that means. I suppose that's a Ralph the Wise thing.
No, that's a
The spirit of Shiva.
Yeah,
who can put the spirit of Shiva?
Shiva is a demon. Shiva is a god, like a destroyer god.
Honey, unless she went to India to do that, I don't believe any person in America going to be able to put the spirit of Shiva into somebody. Are you kidding me? Well, did she go to a Hindu temple and do this, or is this some person that just feel like they got some candles and put the spirit?
I don't know. Maybe you need to have an interview with Beverly because Beverly been doing remote viewings and jumping in and out of Jaguar. So maybe Beverly put something inside of her. I don't know.
No, Beverly and Jaguar.
Shiva is a Hindu spirit, and you would have to go through. See, people, come on.
Well, Beverly did.
So it's already getting weird. Okay, people are talking about the spirit of Shiva and all this other crazy stuff, and I'm like, okay, what? Come on now. All right, so it's already getting kind of. I started off around here, and we're about like a little bit, like maybe like halfway into where I was even brought onto the panel. So let's go.
Did an off-world DNA on Jaguar, so if she did the off-world,
yeah, that was when she was in good term. Come on, Ralph. You know, we literally did a whole talking about the fact that their relationship now, like it's only Sean. She keeps on saying that Grace is better than Beverly.
You know, do you realize that I have been initiated for 3 years and I have never. The only thing I do on me is protection. I don't do anything against anybody. I do everything to protect myself and my family and my household, my elite. You know what I'm saying? And then once I get to a certain point, if I have godchildren, I will do what I need to do to protect them. But sending out baneful, that's going into Bokorism, that's going into Bane magic malfector. But I know that Jaguar does have Haitian roots.
Yeah, I know. She told me, and she told the world. Well, clearly my Haitian roots are deeper than that.
She has a grandfather that was Haitian that was doing like human sacrifice, right? So just this is a good place to start, right? So knowing that a person has admitted to being a witch and that does witchcraft, right? Okay, that actually does baneful magic against people, that does things that hurt people and to harm people, and does not mind sending out evil eye, speaking death upon people. You know, this is pretty much where this whole thing started, and it really started to go left. Let's go. So,
but we all have that in our families. as Asian.
Right. Exactly.
But
So
like
the
I
thing
said, it's
is
not
that
that deep.
if she's either a Bokor or if
Mhm.
she can't be a Ugan. Ugan deals with the spirits of life.
She will not be
So
that. She will be Jaguar. It's like you're trying to apply one religion to her when it's really that she takes what suits her and then throw it out. That's how she is. She will not be constrained by any religion, by any custom. That's for other people. That's not for her.
Did you and Jag ever do spells together?
Me?
absolutely not. I didn't do any spells. I don't do spells on nobody. I don't really believe in that. You know what I'm saying? At least right now. Now later on, who knows? You know, when I already said that I don't do spells. I started off from this whole thing saying like, listen, I do protection. I do things to protect my family. I do things to protect my household. I don't send out bane. I don't send out malfector. I don't send out negative energy towards anybody. Now, who knows what's going to happen later on or whatever when people continue to mess with you. But you know what I'm saying? I don't do that. I get deeper into it. Who knows? I might say, you know what, bump off. Somebody keep effing with me. I might have to like do something. But for the most part, I try to keep myself to myself and do what's right for me and my family. You know what I'm saying? My
Okay.
practice is not
Sarah,
about
Sarah, don't say notice how Ralph is letting them talk. We call that a conversation. Everyone talks.
Okay. Now, quickly, could it possibly been spells that was being done at your house without your knowing?
She said yes.
Right. So this is what I'm saying. Like, even though she didn't do any of the spells, the energy was being
Exactly.
pulled or being
Exactly.
okay. So
I know that she did go to my altar and put some money down on my altar, you know.
They're creepy as hell.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But
And
did
I
you
know
ever
that
have a
Legina was burning candles. But here's the thing is that she's also friends with Batin and she cared about Batin. So I didn't find anything wrong with her putting that money onto the altar because that was a shrine not only for Batin but also for my ancestors. But she probably wanted to give something towards Batin, you know, because she missed that aspect. So I didn't look at it as a bad thing. It was at my house. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
As far as Jaguar, she's never done anything like unless I wasn't aware. You know what I'm saying? For the most
yeah.
part, like she would sing, she would do music. The
Mhm.
most spell work that was done was by Legina at my house.
Okay, I understand. And did you ever really meet Sam Jr.?
Yeah, he's a very intelligent and nice child, a kind child.
Why do you think they keep on making rumors about her having some type of situation with Giovanni?
I don't know. I don't even get into that. I don't. Again, I don't even get into that. Okay, I don't even get into that. Now Giovanni is passed on. So I already showed you my stance on this. I don't even get into that. I don't know. I don't even get into that. Okay. So I started off. They asked me a question about her deceased son. I don't get into that. I have no idea. I have no idea. I wasn't around. Wasn't around. No.
And did you have any type of conversation with Sam? What was he interested in? How was she talking to him? Was she nice to him?
You know, I actually tried to give him some computers, and Sam is so honest. Like the computers I. So I'm talking about the situations that occurred with the people that are alive that I really had an interaction with, and I didn't have a problem answering questions that had something to do with the people that were alive in my space or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Even when it came to her deceased mom, I talked about the things that happened while she was alive in my presence. That's it. I didn't talk about anything else because that's not my place. Let's go. Gave them, I guess they weren't working all the way, and he was laughing when he brought them back, like these computers, ha ha ha. And I was like, well, you could have fixed them, you know what I'm saying? But he was like, that computer is messed up, and I had given him like all like my little laptops I had kind of sitting in like a thing. He was laughing like that. Those computers don't. Very honest person. He's a very kind kid. You know what I'm saying? Nothing at all that bad to say about Sam.
And how was their relationship between her and him and Jaguar?
It was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
So do you think the interview with Tasha K was
So I'm not gonna lie
No.
about what I think that you know once his grandma died, I think all bets were off. You know what I'm saying? And she wasn't there, and you know,
Why do you think so? What happened when his grandma died?
well, she didn't go to the funeral. Or it was I don't know. There was a lot of stuff going on. She was saying that she wasn't dead, and that she was you know a lot of stuff online that was kind of you know. And then she actually had said some things on Street Stars that was kind of crazy. You know, it wasn't nice at all. So I'm sure that he probably didn't like it. So he He said what he said. So yeah, so now Sam's an adult, and now he's speaking his mind. About a year later, after that, okay. So that's what I'm speaking of. Let's go. He said it with his chest. He's a man now. So he was young. He was still young. You know what I'm saying? Early, like what, 19 when he was over my house.
Have you ever watched any actions with Goomba and Sam as far as their interactions go?
Yeah, they seemed good.
Okay.
He seemed like a very good father figure.
Okay.
I think Sam seemed to have just been completely lost any illusion about his mom after how she treated his grandmother when she passed away. She tried to make it seem like she was not dead for real on the internet, making it all a show.
And also, I think that when they went to the hotel before she got arrested, I think it was weird. Like when they were in the hotel, it was like they didn't have any food, like some weird stuff. So right, so I'm just going on what I'm hearing, what I know from my point of view at the time, dealing with the people that are alive in this situation. So I'm not really getting into the deceased loved ones.
And didn't get nothing until like 1 or 2 o'clock or whatever time that he found the keys.
All right, so
Right.
we're gonna go past
Think
this
about it. You
because
gotta
really I didn't.
with his mother, his sick.
So let's go.
So what I'm gonna do now is that everyone is gonna have 2 minutes
So
to
now,
talk.
Shauna
Some more
Lewis gets up.
situations to make it seem like
She gets up there and then she makes a statement, and I back her up on the statement. Let's go.
it was something else.
What Sam said was basically, she was manipulating situations and making him act hysterical for the sake of, so there's no telling what level of manipulation took place, right?
See, I wasn't getting into alleged. You know what I'm saying? I'm going into what I've experienced, what I know, and not anything other than that. Let's go.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
So it's like, and you have to go by what Sam is saying, because this is the child. This is the person who, been around her. Think about his mindset, him saying that Armageddon is coming, him saying that she's standing in front of Leviathan, so on and so forth. This is all things that she's teaching him, that this is all her teachings, of the Baphomet, family origin stuff. So a lot of the things that he was saying was based off of a mind that's coming out of that manipulation.
And the whole thing with the Baphomet tattoo, she had a ram or whatever the Taurus tattoo is. She had an astrological. It wasn't the Baphomet, it was the Taurus sign on her back. Stop it.
It could be still disturbed. It could still be rocked by some of it. This is why she always want to make sure Sam's around her, because that's the only way the manipulation works, right? Is to
Let me
constantly be
fast
around that
forward it to
person.
the point
Make
where
sure
it
you're
starts to
blocking
get
everybody thinking
contentious.
about it. You got to remember, he's coming out of a trap mind, coming into his own individual
See,
self.
I don't
whatever
really
it is,
believe in
think
telling
about it,
somebody
his
what
own
they
mind.
were coming out of and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's like a thought that people are just putting onto him. He spoke for himself. He said exactly what it was. There's no reason to expound upon that. He said exactly what he felt. There's no reason to add to it.
So what I'm gonna do now is that everyone is gonna have 2 minutes to talk, because I think a lot of people need to talk. This is a big chronometer. I don't know how to say it in English. If you interrupt, you will get another person will get 30 seconds more. So who was talking? DJ Genesis. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying that the Asperger's label was put on him, and the father says he did not have Asperger's or autism, and the label that was put on him stopped him from being able to join the military, which I don't really think that people should be joining the military anyway. But anyways, I think that that was a big pain point because he really wanted to join the Marines. Probably not. I would not have. I think that they dodged the bullet with that. He should not have been joining the Marines. He's very intelligent.
Okay, I didn't want to cut anybody off, and as y'all know, I don't have a lot of time because I don't have too much because I'm in the hospital. I don't want to be rude to anybody up here. That's the first thing I want to say. I don't want to be rude to nobody. Ralph,
You have to
as
be
much as
Shana.
okay, Ralph, as much as I've heard from you and I've been like listening to things you said, what you're saying about Sam possibly coming out of something, no. Let me tell you something. When he was speaking about him being hungry and things like that, he meant what he said when he's like, I haven't eaten from a certain time to a certain time. Jag would starve him, just like Jag would starve Mama Francis, which is why I was the one that put in the initial call on her years ago about a wellness check. I've been there from the beginning, from the very beginning. So by saying that he's coming out of this stuff and this is what I believe. I believe some of that, but I can only believe by what I've seen this young man go through firsthand. I've seen this young man.
Okay, so I don't know what she's seen him go through firsthand, but I will say this is that her experience and my experience are separate. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she's been watching him or whatever. I don't know, from the very, very onset of Jaguar being live, but I personally just know him from my experience with Jag. So I wanted to definitely separate what she's saying from what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Man digging through garbage with his mother, his sick mother, while she's sitting in the car in the dead of summer. And this woman is a diabetic. I know that this woman has had to get her metformin from other people because Jag would not give her medication. I've seen the lights cut out to where they're not eating food, to where other content creators have had to send her. One of my best friends had sent Jag some money to try to get Sam them some money or whatever, and got made fun of it. Got made fun for it. So when you say it's because he's been around her, and no, it's nothing to do with her. It's nothing to do with her particular. It's her treatment. It was her treatment of not only his grandmother, her mother, which he got to see firsthand, but also how she treated him. She treated that young man horribly.
Shana, please. Now it would be Ralph's turn to answer you, and then after you can answer him. Ralph.
Yeah, I think we're saying one of the same things, right? When I'm saying that he's coming out of something, I mean, he's no longer in her custody. He's no longer around her, right? So everything that happened when he was around her, everything that took place, he's coming out of it now, right? So he's healing, right? That's what I'm speaking on, right?
So this is the beginning of a conversation about what people are healing and what they're going through and whatever. And Sam is a grown person. He can speak for himself. All right. And then they get into a conversation about Mama Francis and Giovanni. And at that point, I had to say, you know what? You know what I'm saying? So first, Shauna says, I have my own deceased child, and I don't want to get into that. I mean, then I just backed her up on that, and then all hell broke loose. Let's watch.
Right. So I'm saying, like, the time that he did the interview, the things that he was speaking on was according to his remembrance of all the things that they went through together, right? Fumbling of the words. These are traumatic events that still affect him. This is what I'm speaking to. I'm not saying the stuff that he said wasn't accurate as far as how he was saying it. He said it out of his own mouth. Since he hasn't gave me nothing from this time to that time, holding the keys or hiding the keys so I can look for them so she can build content, so on and so forth, right? I remember the interview specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying that the things that you're saying is not right. And it's like you said.
Now, all this stuff was on Tasha K. If you guys want to go ahead and watch the Tasha K interview with Sam Jr. But like I said, this whole time I'm like, I'm not really feeling this at this point. So let's go.
He's been through a lot already, right? So I'm not saying this in a sense of like, he's wrong, he's not accurate. He watched his mom do some stuff to his grandma. He said, especially with that phone call with Mama Francis, when you called her this and called her that. So he has memories of certain things, variations of what took place that's, still going through in his mind. And he's coming out of that, being around that. It's one thing to have a person in your life that does that, and then it's a different thing when that person is your mom. So I can't say how long it would take somebody to come out of something like that. If you get what I'm saying. No, nothing bad about it though, just understanding.
And Shauna, do you want to answer?
I just want to say you literally just said that he was lying about food. Like you literally just said that, and that's what prompted me to come up here because you honestly just said that.
I didn't say he was lying about food. I said lying about starving. I said because he ate
30 seconds more, Ralph.
I'm sorry.
Stop
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. No, it's okay. It's okay.
Continue, please.
But what I'm just telling you is he's not lying about that. Like you have to him when he says I haven't eaten anything from breakfast to lunch, you have to understand that the time set between what he's meaning. See, to me and you, it sounds like from breakfast to lunch could be, oh, I haven't eaten since 9 o'clock and it's 12 o'clock. That's normal to me and you. To Sam, he hasn't eaten since 7 in the morning and it's now 3 p.m. That's what that's the difference between how we see things and how he's actually experienced it. That's what I wanted to clarify. That was all I wanted to clarify. I didn't want to.
I'm not sure where that information is coming from, and I just want to like just make the statement that I'm not sure what source that comes from. So I want to be honest about my review of this and just say that I don't know where that comes from. So
do like none of the other stuff. Like I said, I just wanted to clarify that part, that he sees it differently. Like where me and you, like now, I'm eating lunch right now. I haven't eaten anything since 10 o'clock, since breakfast. That's normal for me. For him, for somebody that was around to, like you said, to be starved, he was starved, because in his mind, I haven't eaten since 7 a.m. It's now, like I said, it's now 3 o'clock. That you don't even do a child like that. Like an adult can't even go that long without
well, he wasn't a child, he was 19, but let's go.
not eating before they get sick or whatever the case may be. So that was the only thing I was saying. That was the only thing I wanted to say. That was all.
Can I give an example of how like this
Of
got out of
course,
control?
of course, you have 2 minutes.
All right. So the whole situation with the barbershop happens. Jag gets put in jail. You know what I'm saying? And then she goes to the police department and gets put in jail again. I get a phone call, okay, by the mother at 7 o'clock in the morning. All right, that they need food, okay, because there's no food in the house. So to me, it was clear that there must have been a deficit before that to allow it to get so bad to where at 7 o'clock you have zero food to eat, and now you have to like you're asking me for $100 to like get some food, and I had to call around to get people to like get food into the house. So this isn't so either. Maybe Jack was the only one cooking the food. I don't know, but how does it get to that point? So that's the only part I was like, that's where I would say food might have been an issue. Okay, so I'm going off of my understanding of the situation at that point and talking about the situation that involved me and having to buy them food, okay, or give money so they can get food.
Ralph, do you want to answer?
Oh no, I agree with them. I can only give speculation on my behalf. I stated that it wasn't based off.
So let me forward this a little bit. That she was at. It was because of like the lack of the proper medicine. That's it.
And I have a quick question. Now you said you have been around from the beginning. Were you and Jag friends at first? I can't
Who are you
see
talking to? Shanna or Genesis?
Shanna.
Shanna.
Shayna?
Oh, I said no. I said I've never been friends with her. Never. I've never been friends with her.
So have you just seen her from like around the way? How were you so close to her mother and son?
Just okay. So I'll explain very briefly. I contacted Adult Protective Services after Jag began harassing the hell out of me. The reason she began harassing and stalking me, which she still does to this day, which I don't know why, she owed some guys some drug money here in Dallas. I live in Dallas Fort Worth area. She owed some guys some money that I knew, and so I got on the platform and I confronted her about it. I said, "Hey, you owe these cats some money. When you gonna pay up? Y'all owe these guys some money." So once I started, dropping names, dropping locations, when she realized.
Can I say this too? Is that I did give Mama Francis my little leftover, which I probably shouldn't have because it's not really good to like give people your medication. You know what I'm saying? But I had a bottle of metformin from the right perspective. She's a grown woman. Okay. If she chooses, if whatever person tells her, hey, listen, get in that car and do this and do that and come down to Texas and we gonna make it happen. Let's go.
She does it every year and it makes me sick to my.
We're again by doing this whole modesty thing. Well, I'm not going to say anything.
Here we go. Hold on.
She does it every year and it makes me sick to my stomach. Like I said, as a mother who has lost a child, it makes me sick to my stomach when I see her do it to him. But that's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm not gonna speak on that.
All right, so she says
it's
that as a mother who has lost,
I just want to understand if she is the great mother that she claims to be.
All right, so she talks about her motherhood and that she's lost a child. Let's go. Have a resource to do whatever she had to do to get to where she wanted.
Shauna, did you ever know about Giovanni?
Um, I don't like to speak on deceased children because I have one of my own. So um, I don't know about that young man. I heard about his unfortunate story, and I just hate that Jag uses his memory, his legacy as something to play on. She does it every year, and it makes me sick to my stomach. Like I said, as a mother who has lost a child, it makes me sick to my stomach when I see her do it to him. But that's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm not gonna speak on that.
All right. So she's the first one to speak on it. Giovanni, her Jaguar's deceased son, right? She says that as a person that have a deceased child, all right, she does not feel like she should do this, and it bothers her that Jack is using his memory to, I guess, grift off of whatever. And then I make my statement.
I understand. It's. I just want to understand if she is the great mother that she claims to be.
No. Did
Yeah.
you know that? Did you know that the day before her son was unalive, she told him she wished that he was gone.
Okay, so first she said that she was not going to speak on it. Then she speaks on it. That Jaguar said she wishes he was gone, and this, that, the other. And something in my spirit was like, I don't know. I don't know about this, right? So let's go.
I
Did you
heard
know
that
that?
rumor. I heard that rumor.
She confirmed it because
Oh,
she talks too much. She talks too much. She confirmed it herself. She talks too much. But then when people,
who brags about that?
yeah,
And she pretty much did the same thing with her mother as well, correct?
Well, she said that her mother wasn't. She didn't believe her mother was no longer on this earth, and I don't know what that's all about. But she knows what she did to her mother. She knows the people that fought for her mother. She knows that in the last year of her life, her mother lived beautiful.
So now even people are coming up with, okay, he did this. She pimps out his birth, his death, whatever. And so now I'm listening to this and I'm starting to not feel comfortable about what's going on with the conversation. Let's go.
And she hates that. She hates
Sharia,
that
what do you
people.
mean by right pimps Giovanni?
Oh yeah, because September is his birth month and the month he passed away. She likes to take the whole month of September and my son, now Giovanni, girl, go sit down somewhere.
Well, okay. All right. So here I go. Like, hold on now. All right, go sit down somewhere. We can't be that heartless, okay? So that's when I come in. Like, okay, death of any child is a traumatic thing to go through. So I don't want to be.
It is, but Genesis. Come on, it is the Genesis. Come on now.
Come on. So she just talked about the death of her son, and said she didn't want to like really go into Giovanni, but then she did, and then she went into the death of her mother, and then she goes into that Jaguar celebrates the death of her son on a regular basis every year. And then when I said, well, the death of any child is going to be a very traumatic thing, and we probably should. No, Genesis. You understand? So it, to me, seemed like they was waiting on a moment to like say some Genesis shit. Because I'm like, come on now. Really?
Think about the way we grieve our children versus in the way she grieves hers.
I don't know how she. Think about how we grieve our children, how she grieves her. I can't judge nobody on how they grieve their child. That's not appropriate to me, right there. Nah, I don't want to do that.
I'm not judging. I'm just saying I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying there's differences. You can tell when someone's genuine about something versus when it's just a money grab.
And that's why these conversations need to be had, because DJ Genesis, you still sitting up here trying to say what's right.
Now, Ralph, I don't know if Ralph has ever lost a child, but come on now. They want to jump on me because of how I say, hold on, there's a limit. We have to draw a line on what we're going to do here. You understand what I'm saying? There has to be a line. We can't just like, are we really going to go here and be like this and do like that and tell her that she's not grieving her child that she gave birth to? I'm not down with that. I'm sorry. I don't care. I don't care if it's Jaguar Wright, if it's Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm not fixing to sit on no panel and co-sign this behavior. That's not right.
Right, by trying to play nice and say like, oh, we watch this person, right? This person is in the community. This person is grooming other people to be just like them. If we don't speak up about it and say exactly what it is that we're pointing out, then we just about to fall victim to the shit all over again by doing this whole modesty thing. Well, I'm not going to say anything
Well,
about
no. I think that we can say everything.
Hold on, listen.
Okay, everyone has 2 minutes. Wait a second, Ralph.
No.
Continue.
We don't have to put the 2-minute thing on because a lot of people are saying stuff within like 30 to 45 seconds. I just want to say, like, we are pointing out the fact that she, did this to her mom. Pow Wow was trying to point out the fact that she spoke her mom's unaliving into existence too. The day before her mom, passed, she spoke it into existence, right? She spoke her son's unaliving into existence, right? She's telling you how powerful her tongue is, right? She's online speaking the unaliving of all the people that's online that she don't like, right? She's saying,
Oh my God. I'm sorry, Luna. She did what? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut y'all off. That just made me throw up my mouth a little bit. Oh my God. Oh, that's nasty. Oh, that's nasty.
So now she's in the comments watching what somebody said in the comments and interrupt everybody to like, she did what?
See, I didn't mean to cut y'all off. I'm sorry. I saw that comment.
This is gossip. I would say this.
No, wait, Ralph is not done.
Okay, that's gossip. She did what? I think that if somebody said some more, let me see what they said. Hold on. I don't like that. I'm sorry. I don't care. Jaguar, it could be anybody. No, there's a limit. There has to be, we have to hold ourselves to some level of like decency. What did somebody say? Somebody said something crazy to make her just interrupt everybody.
No, I'm done. I'm just saying, like, if we're trying to point out this and get these people, like point out the fact that she's this, and DJ Genesis being like, knowing her since '98, you knew this person, but you're still like putting this level of protection around this person, right? It's like here we are trying to get this person.
Honey, not protection around her, but protection around her deceased loved ones. Protection around her deceased loved ones. Let's get it straight. Now, that's what people got wrong, is that people thought that I was trying to protect her. But I'm just saying, like, there's a limit to where, okay, listen, are we really going to go, were we like just go this deep into hell on this subject, really? You really going to do this?
Out, off of social media, trying to speak about the appalling things, truthfully, and you sitting here trying to shy away from the things that based off of whatever. Like it's almost like playing in our face in a way, right? We're out here speaking honestly. We're out here trying to get to the truth and actually trying to fix something that we feel like is a problem in our community. And you're like, oh, I'm not going to say all the monstrous things that I've seen because,
didn't I just like do a whole half an hour talking about everything I've seen? But just because this one point of contention, right? People now they want to jump on me. Oh, okay. Because you didn't want to just jump on the bandwagon of like talking about her deceased loved ones. And just because she did that to me and did that to you and did that to anybody else, that because you're not going to jump on that bandwagon, now all of a sudden now there's something wrong with you. You're enabling, you're coddling, no, I just have respect for the dead.
I just want to play nice. Like what?
Let me go back.
It's like
let me go back.
Spoiled food, like rotten food that will show things about my children I'm not going to mention. It's probably still out there on a live somewhere. But that's how. And she's in, and because of that small that 5-minute interaction is that woman has taken me through 7 levels of hell that I'm still that. And
so you're going through 7 layers of hell because of what somebody said.
But she will never meet me so I can get my fade.
So she wants to. But
why she jumping in? I mean, I had content creators literally making 12-hour lives about me. I kid you not. People out here can tell you. I had content creators literally making lives about me.
Me too.
Genesis can tell you she was there. Genesis can tell you.
Honey, they was on both of us. Honey, they were
the smear campaign.
They were saying that I trafficked Legina and like the
What the fuck?
I trafficked a 30-year-old woman. Okay, that decided to that chose to come on now. In danger, right? I didn't
know about Giovanni.
watch this.
I don't like to speak on deceased children.
I don't like to speak on deceased children. Okay? She says in one breath, I don't like to speak on it, but then she speaks on it. No one checks her on the fact, well, you just said you don't like to speak on this, but then you're going to speak on it. And then you go on to speak on more and more and more. But when I said, you know what, I think we probably, I don't want to do that either. Then it's like, oh, you backtracking, you trying to protect her, you doing this, you doing that. That's how I know this shit is bullshit.
Because I have one of my own.
She has a deceased child of her own. Let's go.
I don't know about that young man. I heard about this unfortunate.
I don't know about that young man. You heard about it. Okay.
Story. And I just hate that Jag uses his memory, his legacy.
Right. So 1 minute she's saying that she's not going to talk about it, but then she begins to go on to say and try to say that Jag's pain about her son's death is used in vain, and that she's not really mourning her son. And at that point, I'm like, I'm not feeling that. And I have every right to say, you know what, I'm not feeling that, bro. Sorry. And all I said was that, you know what, nobody knows what a person is going through when they have a disease. Oh, Genesis, watch this.
She has something to play on. She does it every year, and it makes me sick to my stomach. Like I said, as a mother who has lost a child, it makes me sick to my stomach when I see her do it to him.
So because when you lost your child, it makes you sick to your stomach because of how she's grieving her child, and it makes you sick to your stomach. So she don't even get to grieve her child because it makes you sick to your stomach. I don't agree with that. That's the line of anything that I can talk about. Anything else, this whole thing is really gossip anyway. But that's where my line of stuff gets drawn. Period.
That's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm not gonna speak on that.
I'm not gonna speak on that. So let's go.
I understand. I just want to understand if she is the great mother that she claims to be.
No.
Yeah.
Did you know that the day before her son was unalive, she told him she wished that he was gone?
See what I'm saying? I thought you said you wasn't going to go into this. You know what I'm saying? But you're still going. That is the part where I'm like, okay, I don't agree with this. And I'm just not saying nothing, but when I finally speak up,
I heard that rumor.
She confirmed it. Because she talks too much. She confirmed it herself. She talks too much. But then when people,
brags about that.
Yeah.
And she pretty much did the same thing with her mother as well, correct?
See, now we're talking about the mother. Now, two deceased people were saying that she does not care about that. That's a point where I'm like, let's not get it. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Now, y'all, if y'all want to do it, I'm going to at least speak my mind and say that I don't agree with that. I'm not going to be a part
she
of
said
that.
that her mother wasn't. She didn't believe her mother was no longer on this earth, and I don't know what that's all about. But she knows what she did to her mother. She knows the people that fought for her mother. She knows that in the last year of her life, her mother lived beautifully, and she hates that.
So here's the chat. Right, pimps Giovanni out in September, as that is both his birth and death month. Giovanni Jackie Emmanuel Wright, September 1993, September 2018. That is very sad. I'm sorry. My little heartstrings got pulled right there. I said, hold on now. This is kind of, now I get we don't like her. We don't have to love her. But this is where I'm like, we're kind of going too far here. And that's when I speak up. Let's see.
What do you mean by Wright pimps Giovanni?
Oh yeah, because September is his birth month and the month he passed away. She likes to take the whole month of September and my son, my Giovanni.
Come on now. Come on now. Do we have any humanity at this point? Now you want, I don't care if she's an asshole. Now you want to say shit. No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
Honey, girl, go sit down somewhere.
Well, the death of any child is a traumatic thing to go through. So I don't want to be.
It is, but
See how she interrupted me? It is, but. So I said, now the death of any child could be, it is, but. What? Let's go.
it is the Genesis. Come on. It is the
But Genesis, come on. Now, this whole time it's been, oh, she's pimping out her son's death. She's using the September month to mourn her son. Shame on her, whatever. And I said, well, you know what? Hold on now. The death of any child or any loved one could be a traumatic thing. I didn't say the loved one part, but the child, especially. I could only imagine, because I've already gone through a child that was 2 months old. If I watched that child grow up to be a certain age and then that person pass on, you got to know their personality. I do not, like, I'm not down with that part. You understand what I'm saying? Now you're gonna see everybody start to give me the third degree. Watch this.
the Genesis. Come on now. Think about the way we grieve our children versus in the way she grieves hers.
Think about how we grieve our children's death and how she grieves hers. I can't tell you how she grieves hers versus mine. I'm not going to think about that. I'm not going to think about that, and I'm not going to compare my grief over someone else's grief. I know a lot of people that when their child passes on, they lose it. And probably might be the reason why she might be having mental issues, because that was her first son. I'm not down. No, you cannot. You can throw me in any other conversation. I'll be like, fuck Jag about this and fuck that. But this right here, no, I'm not down with this. I'm not fixing to do that.
I'm not judging. I'm just saying I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying there's differences. You can tell when someone's genuine about something versus when it's just a money grab.
And that's why these conversations need to be had, because DJ Genesis, you still sitting up here trying to say what's right, by trying to play nice and say like, oh, we watch this person, right? This person is in the community. This person is grooming other people to be just like them. If we don't speak up about it and say exactly what it is that we're pointing out, then we just about to fall victim to the shit all over again by doing this whole modesty thing. Well, I'm not going to say anything about.
Well, I think that we can say everything.
Hold on, listen.
Okay, everyone has 2 minutes. Wait a second, Rob.
No.
Continue.
We don't have to put the 2-minute thing on, because a lot of people are saying stuff within like 30 to 45 seconds. I just want to say, like, we are pointing out the fact that she, did this to her mom. Pow Wow was trying to point out the fact that she spoke her mom's unaliving into existence too. The day before her mom, passed, she spoke it into existence, right?
Genesis is being respectful.
Unaliving into existence, right? She's telling you how powerful her tongue is, right? She's online speaking the unaliving of all the people that's online that she don't like, right? She's saying,
oh my God. I'm sorry, Luna, she did what? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut y'all off. That just made me throw up my mouth a little bit. Oh my God. Oh, that's nasty. Oh, that's nasty. I didn't mean to cut y'all off. I'm sorry. I saw that comment.
I'm sorry. I would say this.
No, wait, Ralph is not done. Please let him finish.
I'm gonna say this is that so Luna said, I just saw the horrible video with Hag telling the world Jay personal embedding business last night on King Payne. It was sickening. Now, out of all these messages, she zeroed in on this one. Luna, what? See, this is gossipy. Like, you interrupted the whole thing where we're talking about something about like how to conduct ourselves to like go into a gossipy thing about. I mean, I get it that she did this. I don't know why. That's crazy that she did that. And probably needs help about that, but there's a limit that we have to all. There's a certain level of candor. I don't know.
No, I'm done.
Now, if you're like doing a live with her own personal voice where she's saying crazy stuff, fine. But for me to make a snap judgment and say that she's not grieving her son the way I grieve my son, or that she don't care about, I'm not fixing to do that. I'm sorry. I'm not fixing to feed into that type of energy. That's a very low level energy right there.
Saying like if we're trying to point out this and get these people, like point out the fact that she's
You're trying to point out something of people that are deceased and they're gone anyway. Change the damn subject. What are you trying to point out on someone's deceased loved one? There's nothing to point out. They're deceased. So, but the fact is, they're mad because I didn't go along and say yeah, and then add to the conversation. Yeah, and on top of that, she did this, and yeah. I said, you know what? Wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Because really, in reality, Shayna did it at first, but she just kept going. She didn't stop. She could have stopped it right there, but she kept going. You understand what I'm saying? She kept going. She could have just said, you know what? I don't want to talk about that, and then moved the subject onto something. I was the one that took the initiative and said, you know what? Let's not do that. And then they got mad at me because I didn't want to like just jump in the mud and the muck with this whole thing with people talking about her deceased loved ones. I'm sorry. Not gonna do it.
this. And DJ Genesis being like, knowing her since '98, you knew this person, but
So now you're gonna make it about me knowing her since '98. No, this is about talking about her loved one, saying that she felt a certain way, speaking for her and how she felt about, and that she doesn't grieve the way everybody. No, I'm not. Don't try to make it about anything else than what it was. That's exactly what it was. Period.
you're still like putting this level of protection around this person, right? It's like
There's no level of protection around the person. I'm putting a level of protection around her loved ones to say, okay, that's enough talking about her loved ones. Y'all have said enough. That's it. I don't want to do that. And you know what? Then you feel like, oh, I'm trying to control and manipulate the panel. Well, guess what? I guess I'm manipulative then, Ralph. There should be a limit on what people could say about somebody's loved one when they're deceased. And it surprised me that Shauna continued on when she just already talked about her child passing away. Then to say that she don't care about, no, that's not right. And I'm not going to ever be cool with that. No.
We are trying to get this person out, off of social media, trying to speak about.
You don't have to speak about her deceased loved ones to get her off social media. There's plenty of other shit that she's done that will get her off social media than getting into her deceased loved ones and what she said about them. At some point, change the goddamn subject. You don't have to speak about her kids, her deceased. She has done so much crazy shit that you do not have to focus on these things, this subject. And then you want to get mad at me because I'm like, okay, let me hold y'all accountable and say, you know what, maybe this ain't the right stuff. Let's kind of cut that and change that. Let's not continue to dwell on this. That's very dark and very low energy and low level and low vibrational. But people like to dwell in low vibration. And then they want to like give a fucking speech. I mean, honey, this thing went on. This back and forth, child. I'm gonna let y'all watch the rest of it on her channel because I'm not gonna. But this whole thing went on for almost an hour or more. People just going back and forth about what I'm saying, and I'm like, no, bro, I'm going to stick to my point. Period.
Things, truthfully, and you sitting here trying to shy away from the things that based off of whatever. Like it's almost like playing in our face in a way, right? We're out here speaking honestly. We're out here trying to get to the truth and actually trying to fix something that we feel like is a problem.
How was getting to the truth? Telling somebody that how they grieved. That's not getting to the truth. That's making an assumption on how she grieved her son. That's an assumption. That's not the fucking truth.
Problem in our community, and you're like, oh, I'm not going to say all the monstrous things that I see.
I didn't say that. What I said is that, you know what, we probably should not assume it. All I said was the death of a child could be devastating or traumatic. Boom, interrupted. And then they begin to like take that little statement I said and then go ham with it. That's crazy to me.
Because, I just want to play nice. Like what?
They got all that out of like got that whole sentence. I just want to play. I just said, off of, well, the death of a loved one could be traumatizing for anyone. I didn't even get to say shit. All I said was the death of a loved one could be traumatizing for anyone. First, Shauna Lewis goes in, then he goes in, and they're just like adding shit to what I'm saying. I'm like, bro, I didn't say all that.
What?
Ralph, have you lost any children? And if you have not, you need to really think about that.
It's
Your
like
position.
at this point, you got to pick.
Wouldn't you hate it if somebody said, you know what, Ralph the Rod is crazy anyway. He don't give a fuck about that his son or daughter is deceased. I don't give a fuck how crazy you are. That would be very fucked up for someone to say. I don't give a shit who you are. Like, that's crazy to have anyone say. That's not right. I'm sorry. It's right and wrong. At some point, we have to like know what's right and wrong. And that right there is right is wrong. Okay. And you want to draw this out and make it into a whole thing that, oh, I'm just trying to back step and then I become a trauma. I'm trying to be an enabler for, come on now. All this based on, I just said the death of a loved one could be, come on now. Let's go.
Aside, if it's a spiritual battle, if you know how deep this is, why do you still straddle this fence and try to play coy?
Because you say you have been around for a while as
Bow
well.
Wow. I'm gonna let DJGenesis first talk. Ralph, wait. It's done. And DJGenesis, you can answer Ralph.
All right. So as a person that's a priest that specializes in the dead, you know, I understand that even though whatever's going on in this life that we know, these are still her spiritual court. And whatever's going on, I don't think it's right to make assumptions about how she feels about her dead mom, her dead son, this, that, the other. I think that everything else is off the table. I mean, we could like just say whatever, but when we get into people's deceased, even though she did this and did that and said this and said that, I mean, we don't exactly know what pain she's going through on the inside with all this stuff that she's going through. And I don't really believe in trying to just throw salt on a wound. These people are deceased. I'm sure she feels it. I'm sure she's going through something. And I would hate, even though she might say all that, she might be a narcissist. You know what I'm saying? She might not be able to express how she feels about this thing. I don't think it's right because I know that I've lost a child. You know what I'm saying? I know my sister's lost a child. It don't matter if you get in arguments with her, whatever happened in his life or this world, there's like a line, you know, that I just don't like crossing. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to people's deceased, like loved ones, I don't like to cross that line because in reality, you never know what that person is feeling about that. They might try to pretend like they're strong about that, but you never know what she might be going through behind closed doors about that, because losing a child is not the easiest thing to deal with. Okay, losing a mother, a parent, and as much as she might have said this, she might be going through whatever. So I like to have some level of decency. I don't want to just become like just a pariah against this person just because she's an asshole. You know what I'm saying? We have to also have like some like I don't know what the word is, but
Then now it's Powwow's turn. Powwow.
And I get what you are saying, but she used every moment to get clout. Every single moment. Do you
listen, people are saying, listen, right, Genesis, don't let Ralph pick on you for having a different opinion. I feel like Genesis is saying what she thinks people want to hear. Same thing that happened in Too Strong's room when they were record. No, I'm not. I have a deceased child. I will be ready to F somebody up if they told me I didn't give a crap about my deceased child. So whoever Kim is, shut up. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy that so there's some people that was agreeing with me, like, you know, that's her way of expressing herself, just like you have your way of communicating. Thank you, Genesis. People, exactly, Genesis. Some people were agreeing with me in this audience. Then you have like stupid people like this. I think she's just saying what she thinks people want to hear. Why would I be just saying for what reason? I don't give a fuck what y'all think I want to hear. I don't care about what y'all think. Do you really think I give a fuck about what y'all think? It's either I agree or I disagree. I don't give a fuck about what y'all think about what I have to say. I don't give a fuck. You are nobody to me, Kim. And whoever else. I don't give a crap about what you think about what I gotta say. The hell? Do you really think I care about what the hell you got to think?
Think that it's a possibility that she could be used in that moment for that situation for more cash apps.
Well, that's between her and her God. That's not about us to discern that. That's not for us to like sit on a panel and make that judgment.
Just more everything. Oh, that's all.
Is that a question?
Yeah, that was a
I
question.
would say absolutely. Now here's the thing. Now we all know that Jaguar has mental illness, okay? And there's a certain level of with Jaguar's mental illness. You know what I'm saying? If we really break it down, where she might not be able to have empathy. You know what I'm saying? She might not be able to feel the same way we feel about certain things that she might feel. So there's a certain level to where I have to like actually like look at her. She's been how many times she's been in the mental hospital this whole time. So we can't just continue to be the person that has mental problems down and just completely just and even though she did what she did to me, my heart is still kind of like, man, I hope that she gets it together. I still like kind of want her to like. So here's says, I respect you not wanting to cross that line, but right accuse you of essay of a minor. So what? I know I didn't do that shit. So what the fuck? Why would I? So I know I didn't do that. So why would I attack her on whether or not she cared about her son dying? Like, do you guys? I mean, are you guys all listening to the same thing I'm listening to? People have in their mind they lost sight of the subject here. I'm here disrespecting you, Genesis, but I gotta say, when you negatively affect others, it needs contained. She does not have to hurt others, period. Okay, fine. That does not mean that we need to get into the muck in the mire with her. You understand? Because then we seem just as crazy as she is. Really, Genesis? But she wishes death on everybody. Okay, so what? She's also been in and out of the mental ward. So, I mean, so we're gonna like we're gonna like take her lead and start to like behave like a person that has been in and out of like the mental facility and begin to behave and say, well, if she's gonna do it, well, I'm gonna do it too. That's stupid and ridiculous. And what are we talking about here? Just like even my child's father was schizophrenic. There was a part of me that really wanted him to pull through with that. Jag is a demon, period. Wow. Okay. That's a huge thing to call somebody, but or she just might not be, I don't know. Whatever. So I don't completely just want her demise. I don't like hate her. You know, I just wish that she would pull it together. At some point, maybe God will bless her to come out of this and do. I just have hope. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm stupid or maybe I'm ridiculous or whatever, and how I feel. Yes, she's done a lot of messed up things, but her child did pass. Her mom did pass. We don't know what she's dealing with personally. Here we go. An apologist of pure evil. Listen, the whole objective of this, what I was saying, was to make the point that we should not be talking about her deceased loved ones. Everything else is just a distraction. Okay, I want you guys to see how people can distract because they want to have people to sway up according to what they have to say. They want to get people to agree with them, but they lose the entire point and then they make it about something else because they want to attack me about it. And it's like, well, bro, it doesn't matter whether you attack me or not. I'm going to stick on my point. I'm going to keep saying what I'm going to say. And it doesn't matter what the hell you say. So to like rub salt on that room, I don't think is right. You know what I'm saying? I think that we could talk about anything else, but her deceased loved ones, you know, about how she might not care about them. Yeah, she did do some wild stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure that she has to deal with that. That karma don't got to come from us. That karma going to come at night when she's like thinking about her mom and hearing her mom's voice. That she going to have that, period, whether we deal with it or not. We don't have to be the ones to deliver that. So you guys can feel how you want to feel about me and stay on like straddling the fence. But I just want to have like some decorum about how we deal with the dead and how we decorum. You hear me? About how we deal with the dead. Right? How we deal with the deceased, right? And this is like one of the comments, right? Told you she effed your husband and that you were responsible for his death. Okay. Right has also been in and out of mental facilities. So do I really take that serious? At first I did. I really got upset. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna sit there and still be mad and hold this grudge. I'm gonna stay mad forever. Rah, rah, rah. You said this. I know I wasn't responsible for his death, so why am I? Why do I continue? Why would I continue to be mad about that? I know I didn't do that. I know that she's just saying that just to like fucking get some clicks and views and seem like she won an argument that it doesn't really matter whether she won or not. From a jury of people that's randomly that she don't even know who they are, and she's just going off of like this. All these people could just be straight up AI bots, and she's saying all this just to get the attention of bots. Who knows whether half of these people are even real or not? And she's saying whatever she have to say to like get the attention of people. I'm not sitting up here going to reduce myself down to a lower level to get in the muck and mire with her. Just because she says it does not mean I have to go into that and say that. You understand what I'm saying? She thinks she's nature boy, narcissistic people want others to worship the ground they walk on. Okay. I have 2 grown men sons I made my own mistakes with and still can't feel badly for Jag in that regard. I feel for her boys and mother she abandoned for her own gain. Okay. Genesis 100. Thank you. Genesis, you came from the mindset of it's not my business. Our mindset is see something, say something. That's not what this conversation was about. That's not, listen, the initial thing was, listen, she asked about Giovanni, okay? Shayna said, you know what? I have a deceased child. I don't want to talk about that, and then continue to talk about that. And then when I like reiterate what Shauna Lewis says and really hold that to the stake, people get mad at me and say, no, that's what's wrong with you. And then it goes into, see, this is not the first time this has happened. You deal with people's deceased loved ones.
Now, can I speak?
Yes, Ralph. 2 minutes.
Okay. Now, DJ Genesis, despite how you might have just put that, and I'm not arguing with you, you have the right to operate.
No matter
Oh,
what
that's why nobody couldn't hear me. My mic was on because Genesis.
Listen. A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. So it does not matter. I am over here just speaking my mind. I'm not trying to convince these niggas of anything. You understand? I'm not trying to convince them because they are convinced against, like, listen, it is the Jaguar Wrights witch hunt. You know what I'm saying? So everything is off the table. She said all these crazy things. So we're gonna just jump into the sewage with her. She said this, and I'm going to jump right in. And then they want to attack me because I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. Because I'm not following the crowd. And here goes Shauna, who initially said that she wasn't gonna do it. And now it becomes a thing because first Ralph was gonna tell me about whatever, how dumb I am for like saying what I'm saying. Then no, Shauna, she unmutes herself to like interrupt him to tell me, well, let me tell you about how you used to be, and let me let you know that this is how it's always been. And man, I don't give a fuck about that. Who gives a fuck? This is my personality. If you don't like it, then fuck off. Period. That's who I am. You know what I'm saying? If you talk about the dead and you talk about people that's deceased, I don't like that when it's done to me and I'm gonna do it to somebody else. Now, if y'all want people to like swim in the ocean of hell with y'all, fine. I'm not fixing to go just jumping into that with you. Period. I don't care how much of a bitch that Jaguar is. And she is a bitch. She's an asshole. But I'm not fixing to jump into that. No, that's not right. I have respect for her mother. I have respect for her deceased son. I have respect for her deceased father. I'm not fixing to jump into that. I don't care what nobody got to say. Once they have passed on to the other side, that is a whole nother energy that needs to be respected, period. And I will not stand there and jump and be a part of like a conversation that's continuing to tell somebody what she thought and how she felt. And she ain't here to defend herself to say that that's how she felt or not. We assuming that's how. She didn't care nothing about her. People used to tell me, well, you don't care nothing about your kids. Like, how do you know that? You don't know nothing about me. You don't talk to me every day. You ain't here when I'm doing it. You don't care nothing about. I don't like nobody telling me about how I feel about something. I'm not gonna do that to somebody else. So listen, I'm gonna play a little bit more of this because it's pissing me off, and I'm gonna let y'all like watch the rest on Madgie's channel. Shout out to Madgie. What's her channel called? Madgie the Black Owl. Play a little bit more of this bullshit, and I'm gonna like let it go because the shit's irritating me already.
I'm so sorry, Shana. Now it's Ralph's turn. So 30-second more. Please continue, Ralph.
Okay. Now, what I was saying
This
was
type of stuff.
one.
This is the type of shit that gets someone. Just stop. Who the fuck is this? Just stop. Girl, 47 years. Shut the fuck up. Whoever this is, just stop. No, you just stop. Lose a child and then let someone tell you how you feel about your child. Let someone tell you that you don't care about your child. You never cared about them and let them tell you how you felt about it. I don't care how crazy you are. No one can tell me about how I feel about my child. And I'm not going to sit here and let somebody tell me how Jaguar felt about her deceased child. How Jaguar, I don't care what she did online. I don't care what she did online, bro. To me, it's a performance anyway. You ain't been around her when she says and cut. Do a whole performance and do all that bullshit and then say and cut and switch up like she act like she was drunk and she was wild or whatever, and then say and cut and be sober as hell and walk out the door and be like, okay, see you guys tomorrow. Like it never happened. Come on now. Y'all don't know a person until you know them. All this shit that she's doing is feeding into something that she really wants to get people to talk about stuff or whatever. But you never know what a person is doing when they're in their bed. It's late at night and they think about their mom or their loved one, their son. So, and I'm not going to sit up here and make an assumption that she don't care about either one. I don't care what she did when her mom was alive. You know, my mom when I was 13, and she had me like take her to Ohio. She was dying, and she was dying of cancer. And I was very irritated with her. The whole time I was like, man, where are we going? I'm being kind of like rude to her. And I'm not realizing she's like taking her last visit home to Ohio. And she's visiting the family for the last time and she knows she's about to die. I'm 13 years old. I'm just like, dude, what are we doing? What is going on? Because I'm 13, I'm a little knucklehead child. She gets back to Maryland. 2 months later, she dies of cancer. You can't tell me if you were to see how I was probably acting throughout the whole trip. You say she ain't give a shit about her mother. But you can't tell me how I feel every night when I think about my mom not being here. Now that I've had children, now that I've done this, you can't tell me how I feel. If you were to go on that time, you say she don't give a crap about her mom. Her mom is dead. She don't give a crap about her. So I know from a whole nother level about how you could be ungrateful in the moment when a person's alive, but then, time happens and that person's no longer there. And you don't know how that person feels. So I'm not fixing to sit on here on a panel and I don't care what you have to say about me. I could be wishy-washy, flip-flop, whatever. And everything that they're talking about here ain't got nothing to do with talking about somebody's dead, deceased son, mother, anything. Whatever argument that they're gonna bring up has nothing to do with what was said. And I'm not down with that. Period. I don't give a fuck what Jaguar done to me. I don't care. It's right. There's right. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. So y'all can think about whatever y'all want to think about me, and I'm just gonna keep on pushing, right? So if y'all want to watch the rest of this video because it's pissing me off, y'all go ahead and go on Madgies Channel because the shit is irritating the fuck out of me right now. Go ahead and watch it. I'm done.
I'll Alchemize your energy. Darling, let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. Alchemize your energy, my friend. Let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, we will always take flight. Keep on pushing through the darkness of night. There's no limit, let's reach for the sky. Shine so bright, from darkness to light.